So hello everyone, welcome back again in this tutorial video. In the previous video we had learned how to integrate Google Map in our application. Now we'll continue from the same place where we left off last time. So if you haven't watched the previous video, I'll put a link below. Just go there, complete the video first, and then come back to this if you really want to learn this. So today what we're going to do is we are going to get current location, or like get our current location from Android. If you are if you have my students, if you remember, I had talked about the categories of permissions that are used, and then we actually have to ask users for their consent to allow the location access. We might not do that in this video, but we'll actually implement what happens after the users allow the location access, and then how we can trace their location or like get their current location. Okay, so let's start. First of all, what we'll do is we'll put some permissions in manifest. The first permission that we're going to use is internet, obviously, and the second permission that we're going to use is access find location, and along with this the third permission that we're going to use is access course location. Okay, so these are the three permissions that we need to implement at first. Now after this, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to main activity. So yeah, okay, yeah, before going to main activity, just go to build.gradle here, and then what I want you to do is I want you to add this implementation statement, which gives you location service libraries from play service package here. So just add this, sync your project, and then you can continue. So for now I'm going to go to maps activity. This is where we had left off yesterday, so we're going to continue from the same location here. So after you've added your dependency statement and then sync your project, I want you to add some more interfaces to this one. So the first interface that we're going to add is location listener. Okay, so I think you'll get two options here, but please make sure that you're importing location, the class, from com.google.android.gms.location and not android.location package. Okay, so yeah, choose the first one, and after that we need one more. It is going to be Google API client. Okay, so Google API client, yeah, so dot, and we have connection callbacks. Well, you see these strip lines here because the method or the class is currently deprecated. There are some other alternatives for this, but for the sake of this tutorial we're going to use this here. So, and then one more, we need Google API client dot on connection failed listener. Okay, so after implementing these interfaces, obviously these interfaces do have some methods that we need to override in this class, so we are going to do that. Just click here, alt enter, and then implement methods. Well, do not go for the other method that are not selected, just go with the methods that are already selected here. Don't change anything, just click OK here, and there are some more methods added to your class name. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to make some changes to this onMapReady class. Okay, so what I want you to do is in this onMapReady class, just remove everything after this mmap installation. Okay, so here what we're going to do is, now basically if you already know this, well, it's good. If you don't know this, just hear me out. Android has basically categorized permissions into different categories, and then for a particular category you need to ask your users for consent to allow certain access of the device, maybe their location, maybe the internal SD card, or maybe something else. So for now what we are going to do is we're going to check what kind what version of Android your user's phone is currently running on. So for that, if android android.os.build.version.stk int is greater than or equals to build.version. Sorry, I think it should be version codes dot m. So if it's greater than or equals to m, what we need to do is we need to check if the users have actually allowed their consent to like access their location in this context. So like we're going to check this in if context compat dot check self permission, and inside this parameter we need a context. This will do fine for here. Okay, this should be fine for now. And then manifest dot permission dot, now we added the course location and find location permission there. So if it's not granted, what we're going to do is okay, so we're basically checking if it's granted or not. So package manager dot permission granted. Okay, so if this permission is granted, we'll do something. Well, if it's not granted, we actually should ask the users for this permission. Okay, we'll first handle what happens if it's granted. So we'll just call a function here, build Google API client. We're not going to add up all the code here, and we'll basically add mmap dot set my location enabled to true. So basically what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to check the version of Android that's running on my phone or someone else's phone who is running this app, and then I'm checking if this permission is granted or not. Now if this is granted, we'll do something. If this is not, maybe we'll ask the users for those permissions. So and then if it's granted, we'll initialize our API client here, I mean Google API client, and after that we'll enable our location access in our Google Map object, which is our mmap object. Okay, so also add your else statement here. So in else, okay, we should actually ask for the users for the permission here, but okay, for now we are just going to write these two statements in the same way, but we should actually ask users for permission. Okay, we'll do this after on. Now we need to build this function, so I'm just going to declare this function here, protected synchronized, because this function call is going to be repeatedly called in this case. So synchronized, and inside this I'm going to initialize my Google API client. Now for that I need to first define an object for that, or like I at least need 3 objects here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define them. First of all, object for a location. Again, I've told you if you have any other option for location, if you find GMS option for location, go for that, or else it's okay, just go for location here. So m location, the first object, and after that I also want to initialize a marker object here. So marker current location marker, and after this I need a Google API client, which we're going to initialize later on inside that function. So m Google API client, and I also need a location request, basically to access my location. Again, like I told you, you'll find 2 options for this location request here. So please don't use this android.location request class. Please go for com.google.android.gms.location package for this location request class. We'll just give this m location request. Okay, now coming down to our actual function in build Google API client, what we're going to do is we're going to initialize our Google API client object. So m Google API client equals to new Google API client. Okay, and okay, what happened here? Okay, I should not be using this, sorry. So Google API client, I'm using the one from GMS API. Okay, let me just type it on my own here. Google API client dot builder. Okay, yeah, I actually need this builder one. So Google API client dot builder, I need a context where I'll pass this here, and after that I need some more parameters here. So dot add connection callbacks. Now I need to implement my connection callback listener interface, which I have already I guess implemented here for connection callback. So what I can do is I can simply point this to the class declaration, it'll handle it itself. Now I also need dot add connection failure, add connection failed listener. Again, I have already implemented this here on connection failed. So again, I can just point this to my class declaration, and after that I need to add my API. So API is going to be location services API, location services dot API, and after this dot build. Okay, so this is how you initialize a Google API client object. Now what I'm going to do is m Google client dot connect, yeah, and that's it. Okay, so okay, I was worried if my mic was working or not. So yeah, this is done. Now what we need to do is we have some more functions here. Now we have on-connected functions, which basically comes from add connection callback method. On connection suspended, it again comes from add connection callback, and then we have on location changed, which also comes from the connection callbacks, and then on connection failed, which comes from on connection failed listener. Now what we're going to do is in case of unconnected, so like if we are connected to Google services, what we need to do is we need to request for our current location. So what we're going to do is m location equals to new location request. Okay, again this is deprecated, don't worry about it for now. M location request dot set interval, we need a long value, I think it's in milliseconds, so yeah, we'll give 1000 for now. And m location dot set fastest, sorry, what was, I think it was m location request dot set fastest interval, again we'll give it 1000 here. I think these are the intervals in which your locations will be requested from the Google server. So m location request dot set priority. Now what I want to give is I actually need a constant here. So location request dot priority balance power accuracy. Okay, these are just the properties that we defined for location request parameter. And now if again we're going to see if my permission is granted or not. So again I can just copy this statement from up here. So yeah, if this permission is granted, just copy this if statement. So if this permission is granted, what I want to do here is I need location services dot fuse location API dot request location updates, and then inside this I'm going to add my Google API client, as you see in the suggestion too. So the first object is Google API client, second object is location request, and then the third object here is the location listener interface, which we have already declared in our class. So we'll just pass this from here. Okay, So now in case our location is changed, what I want to do here is I want to add a marker in case my location is changed. So what I'm going to do here is so m location equals to location that I'm getting from this location object. Now if my m what was the marker object here? So m current location marker not equals to null. So if my location marker is not null, what I want to do is I want to remove the previous location marker. So what this code does is, now since we're connected to the Google API client and then we are receiving location updates, now you may be walking down the street while you're using the app, or like while your app is turned on. Now at a certain time interval your location keeps on changing. So what this does, the code that you write here inside this on location change is actually implemented when your location keeps on changing. So yeah, in that case what I want you to do is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remove my previous marker that is currently shown in my map, and then I want my marker to be upgraded or like to show my current location rather than my last location, or show my updated location rather than my last location. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. So if there is already a marker for my last location, I want to remove that first and then show a new marker to my current location here. So for that, again I'll be using the lat long class that we have been using since last video, equals to new lat long location dot get latitude and location dot get longitude. So we have initialized our lat long. Now what we need to do is marker options equals to new marker options. Now marker options dot position, this is going to be lat long object that we have initialized just before. Marker options dot set or like title, this is going to be my current location, and again marker options dot icon. So for icon, bitmapped descriptor factory dot default marker, and then inside this I want to assign a color here. So bitmap descriptor factory dot, these are all the colors that you get, so maybe implement a blue marker here. So u dot blue, and after this m current location marker equals to mmap dot add marker, and this will be marker options. So basically what we're going to doing is we are adding a new marker to our map. Now every time our location changes, we come back to this function, we check if we already have a marker in our previous location, or like if we already have a marker indicating our previous location in the map, we'll remove that and then update it with a new marker, or update the map with a new marker. Now I think we are done here. So we can run this application, but again, like I said, we have not asked for user consent for accessing the location of the user using this application. We'll do that in the upcoming video. For now, we're just going to fix it from our phone itself. So let's first display my phone here, strcpy. So let me check if I already have this app. Maps activity. I have this maps activity. I need to remove this. I have uninstalled my previous app. Now let me run this application. So like I said, the application is not going to ask us for any kind of confirmation for regarding the permissions that we have assigned in the manifest, because we've not done that, but we'll fix it from the app setting itself. So we'll first allow the build to finish, and then we'll go to it. And the code does seem to be a lot more here, but we've not done too much here. Okay, we have just added the interfaces for the functions that are needed. The new thing that we've done is we have added a location package here for basically accessing the location services, and then we have used Google API client to connect to that location service here. So other than that, we have just requested our location, and after that we have set our marker in our current location. That's all we have done. Okay, the app seems to be running. Yes, so allow the installation. I don't know why my phone is lagging here, or my phone screen is lagging, but yeah, I'll just go with the flow here. So when the map actually runs, now you see that the map is not currently pointing to any other location. Now what happens here is the code goes inside on map ready. Now our build is definitely greater than or equals to the Android version M, so it tries to implement this part here, but since we have not asked users for any kind of permission, so this is not going to run. So for that, what we're going to do is we are going to assign the permission from our own from settings here. So let's go back, let's hit settings, and then go to apps, and we can see permissions here. So in case of permissions, if we see our permission manager, we see that 40 out of 92 applications in my phone, 43 are allowed location access. So we'll go inside this. If we can just trigger it from here. Okay, seems to take a lot of time. So yeah, I have these many apps where my location services are allowed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my map activity. So my map application, which is actually which does not have the location access permission here, since it's denied. The default state is denied. The user has not allowed the application to access the location service. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it from here. So allow only while using this app, and then I'm also okay. I'll also check this, all the permissions that I need. So basically my application only uses location permission, which is a dangerous permission for now. So yeah, my phone is only concerned with the dangerous categories of permission. So it's only the location permission here. So now I can go back to my application, just close my map activity app, and then run it again. Now once I run this again, my okay, what was the application here? Okay, so maps activity, I think it's the same thing. So like if I open this application, this should point to my current location. It should work. If it does not, then we've missed something, and then okay, so it's not working. So let's go back to this permission again and then see what happened. Settings, sorry, what was the application name again? Maps. maps activity, right? So settings, and then applications and permissions, location, and I can search map activity here. So do I have any other application called map activity? Let's see. Denied. Okay, I don't have any other application called map activity. And then for this one, the location service is allowed here. So let's go back and then run this again and see if this actually works. But yeah, so I have this. If you see this button actually is a button to point to my current location. If I press this button, we'll see what happens. Okay, yeah, so it is indeed pointing to my current location, and then my marker is being added. And then if you see this blink here, this seems to be continuously blinking. The marker seems to be continuously blinking at the interval of 1 second, which we have set here. So so here, so this is how you access your current location in Android. Well, in this video we have not asked the users for permission during runtime. We'll do that in the upcoming video. So if you have any questions, just comment down below, or if you are my students, you can just ask me during the lecture hours. Okay, so it's all for now. I'll see you in the upcoming video. Thank you.